You're welcome to Good Afternoon, Ghana. So today on the table, you already know that it's a very special day in the lives of Ghanaians. Why do we say it's a special day? Because it is simply because it is a day where we're remembering Dr. Kwame Nkrumah when he actually died in Romania. So it's in the history of April 2017, 1972. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the first Prime Minister of the President of Ghana and the great Pan-African, died in Bucharest in Romania while people say Bucharest, whatever it is. So while being treated for cancer at the age of 62, he had been living in Guinea since his overthrow in a coup in 1966. So we were going into his issues as far as his political party, the CPP, Conventions People's Party, is concerned. All is not well with the party. Well, Metro TV has been following up with executives, with party members and supporters, and it doesn't seem things are getting better anytime soon. Just today we had updates that 5 national executive officers of the Convention People's Party, CPP, who were arrested on Monday, 25th of April 2022, for making derogatory statements about the national chairperson, Nana Akosua Frimpoma Sapon Kuma, have been granted self-recognizance bail by the Adabraka police. So they include the General Secretary, Nanaya Chempem Jantwa, National Organizer, Yirimambo Moses Ambing. He's my friend, though. Yirimambo is my friend. National Treasurer, Emmanuel Opariado, and National Women's Organizer, Hajia Aisha Sulefuta, and National Youth Organizer, Ose Kofi Akwa. Today, fortunately, we have Nanaya Jantwa with us, and she'll be explaining to us what they have been doing in terms of misbehavior, why they were in the hands of the police. She will explain herself to us. But for now, we'll take a breather. When we come back, we'll get into the crux of the matter. Welcome back. So it's Good Afternoon, Ghana. Now we are going into the crux of the issues of the Conventions People's Party, CPP. What's going on with the party? I think for years people have been hoping and wishing that at least it should be the political party to become a third force, more or less, as we put it in our parlance here in Ghana. But some political analysts have also stated that there's nothing like a third force, where democracy actually thrives. They believe that it's either one party and the other two parties normally dominate. If you want to become a third force, and what you want to do is overtake at least the second powerful party, and then it will still remain 2 dominant parties, no matter the number of political parties we have in Ghana. Does the CPP have the power and the strength to do so? Nanaya Jantwa is the General Secretary of the CPP. She joined me in the studio. You're welcome. Nanaya Achempem Jantwa. Why do you want to put up that name?
There are 3. We are 3 Nanayas.
Oh, yes, I get you.
You get me? And I'm the youngest.
I get you.
And I'm the most,
vibrant.
So the older ones, wherever they go, they mention their name. They say, hey, people listen to my voice, they don't know my face.
Yes, it gets confusing.
Yes.
It's like Hannah Tete, Gabriela Tete, there's Giselle Tete, and then I think, is it Francesca or something? I don't know. The other one, I've forgotten. They also get people confused.
So we have Danaya Dufi, Jantwa.
But they all come with Jantwas.
Yes.
So it's Nanaya
Achempem Jantwa. So now I want to be clear so that nobody attacks them or talk to them anyhow. Me, I'm used to being talked to anyhow. That's where I stand. That's my. I was
actually watching a video this morning, and there was an advice to a young man who was entering politics, and he was being advised that once you enter into politics, it's not for the weak. So I guess you're not weak.
Yeah, I cut my teeth at PURC, so.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you're welcome once again.
Thank you.
All right, my production team wants to give us a video. Which video do we have coming up, please? Okay, so let's go to the mausoleum, Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum. There was actually a speech given by Nana Yasete here. Let's play just excerpts of it because she's here herself. She can tell us more. But let's hear her when she went there.
Today we celebrate the life of a great man who contributes immensely to the liberation struggle on the home continent in Africa and the diaspora. In his own words, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said thus during his sojourn in the diaspora to acquire knowledge in the United States of America. As in the days of the Egyptians, so today God had ordained certain among us of the African race should journey westward to equip themselves with knowledge and experience for the day when they will be called upon to return to their motherland and to use the learning they had acquired to help improve the lot of their brethren. I had not realized at that time that I would contribute so much towards the fulfillment of this prophecy. Whilst Kwame Nkrumah imported his experience, knowledge, and expertise gained abroad to improve and further the lot of the people of Ghana and Africans as a whole, his compatriots who were against his ideals of promoting Pan-Africanism and his vision of developing and liberating people of the African race from the claws of colonialism and imperialism, used their expertise to promote nepotism, cronism, and family and friends. To the opponents of Kwame Nkrumah, their main focus was to sell the soul of our nation for pittance and to plunder our financial resources and destroy our natural resources. Today, as a nation, we face the oppression of disease, hunger, poverty, lack of good health services, a high cost of living, and an utter complete degradation of our environment, which is clearly characterized by illegal mining called galamsey. Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was a great Pan-Africanist, and did his death end the Pan-Africanist movement both home and abroad, or it rekindled it? As we celebrate 50 years of his death, we in the Convention's People's Party wish to state emphatically that the flame and touch of Pan-Africanist movement is still ablaze on the home continent and the diaspora. As a true Pan-Africanist, Kwame Nkrumah believed and espoused the tenet of freedom, justice, unity of the African, both at home and in the diaspora. There is no doubt that the Pan-Africanist movement gained impetus through Kwame Nkrumah, W.B. Du Bois, Jomo Kenyatta, Marcus Garvey, and the others. Through their vision and hard work, the power of the Pan-Africanist movement now transcends borders and weakens boundaries of statelessness. Over the years, the Pan-Africanist movement has served as a political, cultural, economic, social, environmental, and an art space for the solidarity of the people of African descent. Through Pan-Africanism, various interventions like the African Union Joint Continental Cooperation of Joint Military Forces to fight conflicts have been put in place. And also the promotion of continental trade amongst ourselves as a continent. Also, remittances from the diaspora to families on the home continent far exceeding aid that comes to the home continent. Today, as we celebrate 50 years of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's death, we also remember his dark days in exile in Guinea, the cold and lonely nights on his hospital bed in Bucharest, Romania. God only knows what was going on through his mind. Perhaps his wonder was, am I going to get a befitting burial when the Lord calls me? A befitting burial he did not get. A restless soul which needs to rest is the bane of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. It is on this premise that the Convention's People's Party and like-minded people in the diaspora and the African continent would organize a befitting funeral for Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of the Republic of Ghana and the doyen of Pan-Africanist movement in the world.
Yes.
A man with an indelible legacy who was misunderstood during his time.
Yeah.
This event will take place in November 2022, and in no time, the Convention's People's Party will bring out the timetable of activities that will culminate into the actual funeral and also inaugurate a funeral committee in due course.
Sure. Yeah.
We also want to urge His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic of Ghana, he himself, a senior comrade, to use his good office to back this event, not forgetting that we would use support of former presidents, His Excellency John Ajekum Kufuor, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and all other comrades in this country who are like-minded and who believe in the indelible legacy of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Here, here.
Indeed, this will be, in our view, a national event of honor for the great Osagyefo. On this occasion, we want to reiterate our request for the return of our assets of the CPP as a move to deepen comradeship and promote reparation. Your Excellency, it will be worthwhile to return to us the Information Ministry building and the Ghana Fire Service headquarters, among many others. Your Excellency, we hope you will oblige us this request. Let us all at the CPP imbibe the tenets of democracy, rule of law, freedom and justice, while resisting the rule of the oppressor. Thank you very much.
There is victory for us. There is victory for us. In the name of great CPP, there is victory for us.
You're welcome back. So that was just an excerpt of, one in many activities that happened at the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum today. Are the oppressors in the CPP? Government.
The oppressors are all over. The oppressors are also in the CPP. How come would somebody take their own executives to the police station? You see, in politics, when you are the apex, you are like a mother or a father. So if you yourself, you are taking your own to the police station, what happens when your opponent takes your people to the police station? It's like a mother at home. I always tell people that when I was a young girl, I was very troublesome. And my father was a politician. My father, Kwame Nkrumah, and Botu and all those people formed the CPP. My father was a very prominent person. But unfortunately, he gave birth to a very troublesome little girl. I was the last born. But anytime I created trouble, my father stood in front of our gate in Kumasi and said, instead of taking her away, take me. And immediately the CFA Jantua. Then I am resolved. I am absolved. So how can a mother, because you said you made statements, this is politics. In politics, people make statements, and you have to be able to tolerate it. I have been insulted variously as a general secretary. I don't take it as anything serious. I don't take it as somebody disrespecting me. I just take it as somebody is angry. Somebody's upset about something I've done. So what I do is I do apologize. If you don't have the mettle and you don't have the heart and you don't have the dispensation and the wherewithal to be a politician, you don't venture into it. Politics is a lot of patience, a lot of hard work. If you don't have that patience, sometimes you lose your respect. You don't lose your dignity. You lose your respect because somebody is upset. Sometimes somebody who is as young as your daughter or your son might speak to you anyhow. If His Excellency, all the excellencies, if they were going to put us in jail or to report us to police station, Ghana would have been finished. And now,
but that's why Ghana is where it is, because we don't actually, ensure rule of law. You have decided to be patient. In fact, by your father's practice as a politician, you have been introduced to politics since childhood.
Yes.
So you have actually developed a thick, tough skin for politics.
That's why I said if you are not like... No, but you don't come into it. And it's normal practice that a mother does not push the child to the police station.
Yeah, but it's not also for you to, dictate to her on how to handle her children.
No, we are not her children. This is politics.
No, because you are using a mother.
But I'm saying that it is like that. Because you feed people, you look after people, you advise people, you pay school fees, you do all manner of things. You mentor people. Young women, you mentor them. Young men, you make sure they're on the right path. It's a whole gamut of so many things.
What did you do?
Oh, these are statements that people make.
Okay.
It's not an insult like you are speaking your mind. You get me? Speaking somebody's mind is not an insult.
And she got offended.
Yes, because you don't, in politics, you see, when I was in PRC, I always said that when people insulted me, I said that because of where I am standing.
Right.
I am defending something that is making people angry. So when they get angry, they do these things. I mean, even not anger, people talk.
Okay, let me try your patience. My producers are prompting me on some comments made by the current chairman or
He's
of
not the
CP?
chairman. Please, we have to correct it. So that
The current chairman?
No, we have to correct it because we are going for a rerun. Because if you continue doing this, then it means that it still stays in the minds of people. It means we have allowed it to happen.
Before we go for the video, have you corrected it with the media that the same person
we have sent it around
to the media?
Yes.
That she's no more the chairman.
Yes. We have
Sapon
sent.
Nkrumah is no more the chairman.
When we did the CC meeting, the communique we sent it. How come everybody is talking about it? Because we are going for a rerun.
Okay, let's go for Sapon Nkrumah's video. We'll talk about that later.
Yes, I mean, after his demise, what was that to show for as a party?
As a party, not much. As a party, as a government, previously a lot. Every project that's of any magnitude, any significance in this country was done by the CPP government. But for the party where we stand today, we don't have a lot to show. And that is why we are so determined, especially today as we've been here, to communicate to the spirit of the certificate of Kwame Nkrumah that we are committed to ensure that the legacy will not just be there in edifice, but the legacy will continue to be there so that the people and the young people of this country, these same young people that supported us to be able to fight to get the independence, without the young people and women, there is no way we would have won the independence. So we are committed again that we would go back to the very same plan that he had. And the plan is a simple plan, that we should give power to the people at the grassroots. And that is what we intend to do. We haven't in the Fourth Republic done anything to give power to the people at the grassroots. So CPP, as you see today, has rebuilt. CPP, as you see today, the fightings and the wranglings and whatever you see in going in the party has been consistent. It's like perennial. Every time there's election, we have the same fight because power is only with the leadership. But it's my commitment that the power will go back to the people, to the grassroots, so that when people are fighting, they'll be fighting at the grassroots because somebody wants to be the person who is sitting there as the polling agent and will vote for CPP because he has ownership of CPP. Ownership must be transferred to the people at the police station. So that is why we are so when you see the confusion, we have 4 years by the Constitution, but one group must sacrifice. Somebody must sacrifice.
Let me draw your mind back. Now, you speak so well about the party and all that, but then there's a huge internal wrangling going on. Just here, when the party officials came here to pay homage to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, you see what happened here? I mean, a lot of conversations. How are you going to fix this? Interdictions and all that, and even your position being contested for another election in July.
The truth of the matter is this: the entire leadership, how many numbers are we? The leadership itself is 9. You come down to the regions, it's 16 plus 9. The entire leadership of the regions, and we are not even up to 300. You understand? I think we're about, it's 16, 9 times 16, like other numbers, 200 and something. That fight is not going to stop. When we do the polling stations, we are talking of 750,000 minimum ownership of a party. When people own that, their wives will vote, their children will vote, their friends will vote. Somebody at the taxi drivers should own the party. I don't want us to own. I took this position as a chair and leader so that I will be able to work and transfer ownership to the polling station agents. We don't have to get any zero. It serves not our father in any way. His vision cannot be carried. Look at the mausoleum. Do you think this will be the mausoleum if we CPP were in power? Do you think this will be the people here today if CPP was in power? Absolutely not. Rhetorics won't do it for us. I'm a woman of practical action. I don't just believe, I'm a queen mother. I believe in doing things practically to help and support people.
But still, your position is being contested for. We are told that he had just 43% and not 50 plus 1.
You
so
know,
you're not eligible to even fill the space as a chairman.
Listen, I agree with you. We have a constitution. And this is the very reason why I want to assure every Ghanaian, especially every CPP person who is disheartened, and all the youth who are looking for an alternative, to just hang in there. Don't give up. This fight, as I said, is perennial. As long as CPP MSCA election, there's always fight. We end up in court, and we like in 2020, we became executives 3 months to the election because we were taken to court by Bright Akwete, who was then the legal head, and his team. And they asked that the whole structure should be pulled down because we had not done our polling stations and our electoral area. I will not sit down and continue with the fight and not do the polling station, electoral area, and before we realize we are going on. The 50 and 43, whatever they are saying. I won in 10 regions. I got 234 more than the next person. They used a simple majority because they used a referendum to change the constitution. The constitution was the Council of Elders, always their best, they are the arbitrators. So they went to court in 2020 when Batakwete had taken the party to court. They went to court in 2020, and then they decided that it's in the interest of the party that we do the 2 elections together. That one means that national elections and the flag bearer was done together. It was in the interest of the party and the COVID situation at that time to do it in 16 regions under the regional congress instead of the national delegate congress. So for that reason, that if somebody is wearing glasses and you take the glasses out and the person can't see, you must help the person walk. So when you make a decision, it comes with its implications. So they realized that if we didn't have one Congress, then we might not be able to determine 50+1. So they decided to use a simple majority, as was used in all the executives, including Yagantua, including everybody got a simple majority. It is only the chair and leader that gets 50+1, because in our constitution, the chair and leader is like the president of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah died as the chair and leader of this convention, People's Party. However, I wasn't the one that made the decision. If you win in 10 regions and you win over 200 and something votes with somebody who was an incumbent, are you afraid of re-election? Absolutely not.
So that means that you are ready for the July elections?
No, you don't understand. There is no July election.
This is just by your quote-unquote interdicted general secretary. Like
yes. I'm sorry. It's a party of structures, systems, and laws. We can't take one organ, cannot get up and do the job of the next organ. There is an organ. There is no organ in our party called leadership. We have an organ called CPP that includes the leadership, regional executives, and some members of the various committees. Now, the constitution is clear on that. Then we have NEC. Then we have National Congress. But the one that is on top there is the Council of Elders. They have been given specific responsibility as arbitrators of this party. And that means that any time that there's any wrangling and fight, which happens every year in CPP, that is why we get zeros. That is why you don't hear our message. The best message that we have is because we fight last minute. The constitution made it so that when we are in opposition, we have 2 clear years. We must pick our leadership, and we should, before we pick leadership, we must do polling station electorally. That is why Bright took the party to court in 2020. That when we didn't do polling station and electoral area, we haven't done it since the 4th Republic. And I came in with a vision and with a commitment and a resolve to ensure that when I get off this stool, we have that system in place. If they had a responsibility to have done the real run at the time. Are we jokers? We don't live outside the Constitution of Ghana. The Constitution of Ghana, this election was supervised by EC. So if somebody didn't get a particular number and you elect the person, you redo the rerun. The next person accepted it. You understand? And I was sworn in, and I've been in power for the last 12 to 14 months before someone took us to court.
All right. A number of things mentioned by, I will call her the delegate chairperson of the CPP. A faction of the party does not agree that she holds herself up, and she also has her own faction that remains adamant to opinions and oppositions being, raised. Nanaya,
Darling.
Is it not a common objective for a leadership of a party to take the party to the grassroots? Is it not a common ambition that you want to achieve as leadership. When the party belongs to the grassroots, then you can really build from the grassroots to the top.
Who is she doing these elections with? We have we have 3 organizers who have been mandated to organize the party. We have an organizational committee, right, chaired by Session Kumba. Do you understand me? They have an organizational plan to go to the grassroots to organize. This thing that she's doing, who is she doing with? As she's speaking in a very vacuumous stance.
Is she?
Yes, she says that she is going to. She and who? The party doesn't belong to one person.
Has she hijacked the party?
I don't know. What I am saying is that she said that there are structures. You understand? There are wings, there are integral parts of the party who come together to make the party. And if each integral part have their own role to play. Do you get me? And every integral part have their own role to play. So as a chairman or as whoever is in charge, she says she's going to do polling station electoral area. With whom? With which plan? From where? Because we are not aware of this.
She came with an agenda. She came with an objective.
Sweetheart,
as a chairman of the party,
please, she's
she's
not chairman. Number 2, you work with a team.
Yes.
It's not about your agenda. It's about the agenda of the leadership that is in place. You have something in your mind, and that is what she's been doing since.
No, but as a leader, you must have your ideas
so
first, and then you use a team.
That's what I'm saying. But who is aware of the agenda she's talking about? She always has an agenda. Let me tell you something. Me, I didn't want to talk too much because I'm not one of a talkative and talking things. You do a plan for her that this is what we have to do. She'll tell you that I have my own ideas better than yours. You sit there forever. That idea will not come, and your plan too will not be implemented. So now she says that she had an agenda. But you have a team, a 9-member team. In it, the Constitution says that when it comes to organization of polling stations and all that, with the General Secretary as in the lead, the organizers will organize, the national organizer who reports, all 3 of them work with the General Secretary. Will go out there and with the General Secretary in the lead, the party, the committee, all the committees work with the General Secretary. So as the committees put things together, we will go out there and organize. And you don't even do it on your own. We have regional chairmen. You have regional organizers. You have constituency chairmen, constituency organizers. They all, as a group, we will organize. And the party will decide and say that this is the way we are going. This is the budget we are going to use to do it. These are the logistics we are going to use. What is the mode? What strategy are we using? If you want to fill our polling stations, we do membership drive. You do a membership drive, you bring people. You don't just go around, the way she's talking, as if you just go around and fill it with people. Will you want to be with CPP? Then you bring them. That's one, you will never get loyalty. You have to get even people in the constituencies who are in the polling stations to be polling station executives. They are not constituency executive. They will be there. They're in the electoral area. They are party members. You also do a lot of membership drive. In that case, they are committed to the party. And you do it with your team.
You say she's not a team player?
She's not.
Is that why you are, contesting her?
Oh, but we've been around for this time. I don't know why they don't want to understand that. Or the way she's talking, it seems she doesn't even want to accept that she didn't get 50% or more. She's not respecting the Constitution.
Did you not use the referendum to change the Constitution?
No, sweetheart. That is a complete, I don't want to use the word lie, but misinformation. This is a complete mistake. What happened? And my job is to find out what it is before I come out. Look, she says I'll come to that. She won 10 regions. We are not in an electoral college system.
Right.
In America, if you won 10 of 16, it doesn't matter the numbers that churn out. You have won. We are in a numbers system. Where is the numbers that you get that makes you the winner? In 2020, the NDC got 9 regions. MPP got what? 7.
7 regions.
MPP won. Because of their popularity in Ashanti region.
Right.
Yes. You don't use regions. And I'm not even sure whether he wants 10 regions. I will find out.
So what clause in the Constitution, got changed during the referendum?
It wasn't even changed.
What happened?
It said that today, because of exigencies of the time, being COVID, we are doing a decentralized Congress. One. Before we did a congregated Congress. Get me? We are doing a decentralized Congress. In this decentralized Congress, and I heard that the Electoral Commission then raised issues that in your constitution, it is stated categorically that the two elections, the flag bearer and the national executives, will be done on different dates. So if you do not amend your constitution, then we are not going to hold the elections for you. And we couldn't amend our constitution because our constitution is amended by Congress. I was there. So the lawyers came up and they said, okay, then let's run a referendum because it's a Congress. And let's hear what the Congress will say. So we went round. Me, I was in Kumasi. What went round was that, do you want us to do the election of flag bearer together with the national executive? Yes or no?
Yeah.
That is all.
Yeah.
So it is yes or no. Eventually, the yes
is one.
won.
But the
You
national
didn't-
executive includes the chairman, doesn't it?
No, it excludes the chairman. But every category of national executives have what they get. The flag bearer is during election is our leader. He's supposed to get 50% or more of the valid vote cast. There is a reason why it is like that, because you should be popular enough amongst your own people to go out there to say you are going to Ghana votes. The chairman and leader, it should be 50% or more. It has been there since time immemorial. It should be 50% or more, because as a leader, you should be able to command the troops.
Yes.
That when there is a crisis, you should be able to speak to the troops, or when there is a problem, you should be able to speak to the troops. That if you have more than 50% of the people behind you, when there is anything, you could go down there and speak to the troops and they'll become.
Yes, but the referendum sort of changed that.
It
for
changed
flag
what?
bearer and the
It
national
didn't change.
executive
It
for the
didn't change the 50.
The referendum
It changed
still
the
maintained the
process.
50%.
Yes.
And,
No, after referendum just for the day.
okay.
It changed the process of vote. It didn't change the figures.
The numbers that you
No,
need to Ghana.
it didn't change. And because you see, this one that is evidential, we have to go and look up for the chairman of the IOC, who himself,
Yeah.
Senior Comrade Aro Frimpong Manson, who on whose under his auspices the elections were run. He has a document. I didn't know you were going to talk about this. I thought you were going to talk about Kwame Nkrumah. I would have brought the letter.
It's still Kwame Nkrumah anyway.
You
It's still
get
Kwame
it?
Nkrumah
Yes.
CPP.
I would have brought the
Hold
letter.
on, I'll come
Yes.
back to you. Hajia Hamdatu, the outgone chairman, also, made certain comments. Let's take a listen to her.
Looking at the demise of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, I think we can boast of his vision, we can boast of his ideas, we can boast of what he stood for Mother Ghana and for that matter Africa. Kwame Nkrumah died 50 years ago. He was overthrown so many years ago, but I can tell you for a fact that what he stood for, his ideals, is relevant 60 years ago as it is today in Ghana, and not just in Ghana but in Africa. Because if you look at what is happening on the continent and in Ghana, even look at the premises in which we are going to, where he was laid, it is very, very pathetic. Our great leader, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, when leaders of Africa and even the world pay a visit to Ghana, everybody wants to come to the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum. But I'm not sure what is happening here is something to be proud of as Nkrumahist. But I think this thing is under the government of Ghana. So I think there are some things that they earn from people visiting this place. So I think they should put the place in shape and to really reflect the kind of stature the man, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, was and is, as we stand to sort of pay homage to his tomb. His wife to his line by him. We are just here to, the usuals. Every year we come here to lay wreath and then pray over his tomb. But I think as Nkrumahs and for that matter the Convention People's Party, we have to be proud of ourselves, even though our fortunes keeps on dwindling. But I think we are resolute in the sense that when it comes to the economy of this country, when it comes to maybe transportation, health, and what have you, we are still lacking after 50 years of his death. So we ask ourselves, what are we not getting right as a nation. So I think we should have to go back to the drawing board and call people who matter in the country. We shouldn't look at our political differences and look at what we can do to inure to the benefit of Ghana. I think that is what the CPP stands for.
You mentioned the fact that you believe here taking care of this place under the government and all that. But then I've been here and I've heard some of your colleagues, which I say colleagues, I mean your party colleagues, say that it would have been best for the place to be handed over to the party to ensure that this maintenance goes on well, because they believe the way this place looks doesn't even send a good message out there to people who come here to look at the place as tourism and all that. What do you make of that as well?
Yeah, I think why not? We can, because you see the way we revered Nkrumah as Nkrumah is not even just the people of the Convention People's Party, like-minded people who really believe in the man Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Maybe if the place is handed over to the party that he formed in 1949 in Solpong, maybe we will have the sense of urgency to kind of pay attention to the place. And then we can do a PPP, like the party and the government. There will be some accountability, transparency on how the place is run. You understand? Because at least even we can use what we generate from here to keep the park neat. So I think going forward, we'll meet the director of the place to find out his or the management challenges to see what we can do to help, because we are not happy with the situation we've come to meet. I happen to be a former, let me say former, because under the first Nana Akufo-Addo government, I was appointed as part of the board of the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, chaired by Nana Nketia. That time, Honorable Katrin Afeku was the minister, and she showed interest in keeping those places. But you know, after the second term of President Akufo-Addo, and Katrin was not retained as the minister, the new minister, I don't know, but because at least there should have been some handing over note to see that maybe this is the people who are in charge of the board here. But nothing like that was communicated to us. We're just there, so there's no board. Maybe if they've created a new board, that I'm not aware.
Wasn't the first board dissolved, or because of the second term they came back and I mean how does it happen if there's a board and because of the second term same government party in power, was it dissolved or not? What happened?
I don't know, because we used to come to this same place for monthly meeting. Our chairman is Nana Nketia of Isikadu, and then when this new second term came, nobody has called us for a meeting. Nobody.
We made the move to question why.
We have a leadership. We have a leadership in the person of Kwame Nkrumah. I'm a board member. So I think you have drawn my attention to something very important. You know, if you accept your shortcomings, that's how you get a clearer picture of how to take a next step. You understand my point? Because if you had asked me the question, so then I'll start throwing tantrums. I think that is not the best. You have drawn my attention to a very salient point. Have we made some moves? I think I'll contact my chairman to find out what went wrong or what is wrong. That maybe we are not meeting again, and then there's nothing, no communication. Because when they were appointing us, they gave us information. They swore us in. So even if they are swearing us out, at least we should be in a known.
We can actually maintain here. This is a very vast, beautiful area. The landmark is crazy, but then deterioration, we've all seen it here. Let's now talk about the party he left behind. What's the state of CPP right now?
I think that in the current leadership will be in the best place to tell you, because I think I am not proud of what is happening now. To be honest with you, I'm not sure this is the CPP I left behind, and it's most unfortunate. I think there are issues in the party. Leadership shows the kind of courage to sort of sanitize the whole situation. But if you have a situation where a member of the leadership will go and report her own executive to the police to be invited, it's alien to the Convention People's Party. Very alien. So that shows lack of leadership skills.
That makes me want to ask you, you just spoke of lack of leadership skills and invitation for party members to police station. That is quite serious anyways. But I want to ask you, according to what you've read, a letter received from Nana Ajantwa, who is your secretary. We have been told that she's been interdicted and all that. Plenty of stories going on. And the new one that says that you are ready for a rerun of the chairmanship position. What do you make of that?
As far as I'm concerned, Nana Jantua is a general secretary of the party. Per the party's constitution, Article 93E, a chairperson is due to be elected when he or she have the 50 plus mark. But in this case, that did not happen. And the chairman of the IOC who supervises election wrote a letter to say that they erred. So if they erred, you know, in constitutional matters, it's an entrenched constitution. Constitutional matters are not just solved like that. You understand? So I asked myself, the Council of Elders, I repeat, the Council of Elders have led this great party down. Because if two people or two of your children are fighting, you don't side with one group. You understand? That is why this problem is still escalating. Because if there's a problem, we slept. I'm a member of the Central Committee, me being the chairperson of the Youth Affairs Committee. So I'm a member of the Central Committee. The Central Committee was called. Some of us were not called. And we had some people who were just called to be sworn in to beef up a number in order to form a quorum. And the quorum, they couldn't even form the quorum. And then you say you have interdicted 3 national officers. So if you say you have interdicted 3 national officers, you have to go back and read your constitution very well. Because you who presided over this meeting that is saying they've interdicted 3 of our people, you should know that even the constitution does not even give you that right because you are not even duly elected. You understand?
But she was sworn in. If she wasn't, but she was still sworn in.
There are some North MP was sworn in, but now Supreme Court says he cannot hold himself as the MP of us. So that is neither here nor there. But I think it was because of the way things were handled. That's why if you have a Council of Elders who today, so it is tomorrow, another thing, I think I can specifically mention names who have failed this party.
All right, you're welcome back. So that's just a bit from Hajia Hamdatu. So she's actually saying that as in North MP cry, yeah, or Namhe, not CPP chairman. Anaya,
Yes, darling.
it's your fault, or do you know that? You know that we can put all the mess in the party on your head because you're the secretary of the party. We can. Because a general secretary of the party, you're like the president of the party.
I'm not. Oh.
Everything is on your head.
My chairman said, Nana Frimpoma Sapon said she's the head of
No,
everything.
no,
said-
you have sat here and you have even said that I should not call her the chairman because she's...
I'm saying that before. She wouldn't. You see, my dear, I don't want to go into matters. Oh.
No, you have to go into matters because that we want to bring the party back on track.
Yes, why would it be on my head? This thing has been spoken about. We have gone to court in petitions. My interdiction, the basis of my interdiction was because they said I said 50 plus 1 must be dealt with. You get me?
That's why you were arrested.
No, the interdiction. The
interdiction.
You get me? And I mean, variously, she had wanted me out of the place, asked people that I should be suspended. And everybody tells her that, look, suspending the general secretary is not an easy job because the constitution says it has to go through NEC.
Right.
Did you
that's
get
why
me?
I'm saying that everything that happens in the party is on you.
Yes, so the point is that, I mean, I have been variously accused because I said that the right thing must be done. And when we went to the CC said, look, all these noises, let the right thing be done. Let's go for a rerun. I'm telling you, when we went to the meeting, it was unanimous. And now, you see the way she's behaving.
She actually said that there's no contest in July. Did you hear her?
But she alone cannot say there's no contest in July. Do you
But why
see?
is she saying that?
I don't know.
On
Because
what
that is the rerun for the
Yeah.
timetable. Yes.
Yes.
But you see what we are faced with. She does things on her own. How can you come and sit here as one person and say there's no contest in July?
And who agreed that there's a rerun in July?
Oh, because we have a central committee. You see, the central committee is the highest administrative body of the party. The Council of Elders that she's talking about, what they do is that they arbitrate on behalf of the party when there are issues. But they act upon the instructions of the central committee. It is in the constitution. They act on behalf of the central committee. Because they are elders, we have turned it upside down that, when there's an issue, you take it to them. But when there's an issue, if you read the constitution carefully, it has to come to central committee. And central committee will refer it to them to arbitrate. Do you get me? The central committee is the one who outlines whatever we are going to do. Number two, that central committee that we had that they said we should have a rerun, it was a full central committee. My dear, central committee is made up of leadership. Is made up of committee chairmen. These are the people who are like the intellectuals, those who do strategy, who, like the organizational committee chair, he's a civil engineer. Like my senior comrade Kwame Nkrumah, he's a lawyer. Senior comrade Bright Akwete, he's a lawyer. So these are the like intellectuals who have been put together to do strategy, to make sure that things work, to give us like the ideas. Then we have the regional chairmen who have been voted for 16 of them. Then we have the regional representatives. These are people who represent the region and they live in Accra. At the meeting that she's saying is bogus, we had all 8 members of leadership present. We had 6 committee chairs out of 11. We had 10 regional chairmen represented. Then we had the regional representatives. We had about 30 people. All the components were present. The most critical component is the leadership. The meeting that she had to interdict me, leadership was not there.
So what's
the
going to
second
be?
component of the committee chairman were not there. We need to correct things. We need to move forward. You cannot say that these people.
If you have to go for a rerun and there was someone you actually sworn in as a chairperson, what's the process? How do you dissolve her chairmanship?
You see, it was
position
dissolved from the
before?
very beginning. I mean,
When you say very
they said
beginning,
it was.
big-
You see, now the IOC chairman has come. It is an error, and that is why we have the word correction in the dictionary. When you get it wrong,
Yes.
you correct.
Yes, but
So now the correction is that let's go for a rerun because it is an error.
no, but when you swear someone in, you don't just come and say it's an error and
No,
it dissolves.
No, but you see, the fact that the person has been sworn in and it's not in tandem with the constitution, we shouldn't hide under that one. Do you get? Because this one, it's so clear. If there is a debate,
So it's like just a now something
yes,
that you did.
because you see, if there is a debate over who won, like always electoral things, and we think that it should have been a runoff, but maybe President Annie got 52%, but we believe that it should have been 48. That's different. This one, evidential. The numbers are there. 43%. The Constitution says 50% or more. There is no ambiguity about it. And I don't know, the way we are making it seem as if, as a body, we cannot err.
But you're making her carry the responsibilities as if she caused it.
Nobody's making her carry the responsibility. Even if you carry the responsibility, the party said we have erred. Look, let me give you an example. In 1999, Dr. Abubakar Al-Hassan, Eboteria, Mausi Dake, Professor Dele, Dr. Abubakar Al-Hassan, they went for an election in the chairmanship position in the CPP. None of them got 50% or more of the valid vote cast. That's about 20-something years ago. And they had to do a rerun after 1 year. In that space, it was the current chairman of Council of Elders, Senior Comrade Felix Amwa, who stood in as a chairman because he was the first vice chairman with his 2 other chairmen. There's precedence, my dear. Let's assume that we allow this thing to go. It's not personal. Then we have the next election, somebody gets 40%. Will you do a rerun? Or you let the person stay?
Let's go for a quick breather. We'll come back and wrap up. All right, I have just about a minute or something to wrap up. Nanaya, where do we go from here? Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, I don't think definitely. I mean, almost every year when we remember him, we think he's not happy.
Yes, he's not. I think that he just left and never came back. And let's assume that you left Ghana and you can't come back. You don't know where to go to. Let's assume Guinea hadn't taken him. When he was sick, I remember I heard he asked that he should come home and die. His soul is restless. And God only knows the dark days in Guinea. What he said about Ghana, that we are going through these problems. Me, I always said that Kwame Nkrumah said something.
We are under some curse.
Yes. I believe strongly that he said something. Because in that kind of pain, he would have said something. Because he had a good intention for this nation. wanted to be as he was a human being. Mistakes. But he had attention. My father was with Kwame. And my father is not somebody to idolize anybody. You know F.A. Jantwa, my uncle KSP. You don't idolize. These were lawyers, self-made people. But the way he spoke about Kwame Nkrumah was a great man that we didn't treat properly. And I believe it is time that we honor him with a funeral so that he rests. When you go to the mausoleum, it is heavy. If you know spiritual things, you feel anger in the mausoleum. Yes, people haven't taken note, but me, I'm a very spiritual person. I am a born-again Christian. I deal with God direct, like God is with me, inside me. And when you enter that mausoleum, there is moodiness. You can feel pain. You need to let it go so that this country can move on.
Let's see if we can help the CPP let go its differences and also establish itself well. This has been Good Afternoon, Ghana. I am with Nanaya Achempem Jantwa, the Secretary of CPP. We'll be back as we follow up with issues with the party. Let's see how they, get out of this doldrum. Thanks for watching Good Afternoon, Ghana.